Welcome to Staffworks Explained. If it's your first time here, please subscribe to this channel. Also, watch other videos that you have done on the channel and leave your comment about these topics. In this video, we'll be talking about Ethiopia Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, where we'll provide an update on the progress of the dam and the ongoing dispute between Ethiopia, Egypt, and Sudan regarding the construction and operation of this dam. We will also explore whether the recent increase in Egypt's military budget has anything to do with the Gerd. So welcome and let's ride together. According to the state-affiliated broadcaster Fana TV, Ethiopia, the dam is now nearing 94% completion. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is a big mega project that is being done along Blue River Nile, 40 kilometers away from the border with Sudan. This report indicated that the general public has contributed over 18 billion, which is equivalent to 18 billion 734 million bars for the construction of the dam, and this was up to November 2023. The Executive Committee of the National Council for Gerd, the report said, has reviewed last year's performance and the plan of the ongoing Ethiopian budget year beside the evaluation of the performance of the past 5 years at its regular meeting, which was held in Addis Ababa. As per Demeke Mekonnen, who is the Deputy Prime Minister of Ethiopia and also the chairperson of the Executive Committee, the $4.5 billion dam has moved to its final phase, and this, he says, thanks to the financial and expertise as well as contribution by Ethiopians over the last 12 years. Mekonnen stated that the construction of the dam has currently reached 94.6%, adding that Ethiopia has demonstrated that they are tirelessly in support of the dam, and through this they have been able to accomplish the basin conservation activities. The report by the state television said that the National Council for the Coordination and Project Participation for the construction of the Gerd announced that the final stages of the constructions were underway. The National Council for Coordination and Public Participation on the construction of the Gerd is an Ethiopian government body established specifically to coordinate public involvement in dams construction, and this council has played a role in mobilization of Ethiopians both domestically as well as outside to participate in this project. And this project, as we know, was funded through a very unique model where worried that probably there might be interference when Ethiopia tries to get funds from outside, especially from International Monetary Fund and other institutions which are controlled by the West. It went for a model that involved the citizens, where citizens came together and also contributed to the construction of this dam through fundraising. So this council played a very important role in mobilizing the citizens, both domestically as well as in diaspora, to participate in this project. This involved encouraging financial contribution, volunteer work, as well as raising awareness about the significance of the dam. The council called for the continued meetings between the three parties, that is Egypt, Sudan, and Ethiopia, and for this purpose is to address the disagreement which have arisen out of this dam. The entire period that this dam has been constructed, there has been conflict among these three countries which are along the river Nile. So this council has called for these countries to continue negotiating, especially on areas that there are disagreements. There is a disagreement on operation as well as filling of the dam, where the two countries, as we'll see later, have different views regarding these processes. So this dam, as we said, is located in Blue River Nile in Ethiopia, which is close to border of Sudan. And the construction of this dam has been a source of contention between Ethiopia, Egypt, and Sudan, and this has been over the decade. The dam started in 2011, and through the entire period there has been concerns, especially from these countries. Some of the cause concerns include water sharing, where Egypt, which is located downstream, relies heavily on the Nile for its water, Egypt fears that the dam will significantly reduce the water flow it receives, impacting agriculture and electricity generation. There's also concerns with safety, where Sudan, also a downstream country, has concerns about the dam safety and potential flooding risks that are posed by this dam. Ethiopia's decision to proceed with the filling of reservoir without reaching a formal agreement with the downstream countries, that is Egypt and Sudan, has also been a major point of contention in the dispute of the dam. Ethiopia has filled the dam during the long rain seasons between July and September since 2020, and there has been 4 fillings period, with the level of water in the dam having reached a significant point where the generation of electricity has actually started. Actually, a number of turbines are already in operation, and as they have, others are continued to be installed, and the country is generating electricity from this dam since February 2022, as per the Gregorian calendar. Ethiopia views filling of the dam as necessary to start generating electricity, as well as to be able to achieve its development goals. They urge that the initial filling stages would not significantly impact the downstream water flow. Both Egypt and Sudan fear that rapid filling could drastically reduce the Nile water availability, impacting agriculture, water security, and hydropower generation. They are also worried that the dam safety and potential flooding risk, if proper protocols are not followed, can affect this dam. Egypt and Sudan are for the slower filling, but Ethiopia is on a rapid filling so that it can start gaining or benefiting from the dam right away. Ethiopia's position as far as the Gerd is concerned, it sees it as a crucial national development project which is aimed at helping to generate electricity for the millions of people in this country, which is regarded as electricity deficient, and millions of people in Ethiopia currently lack electricity, and this project is seen as a boost for this, and a boost for the whole economy of this country. Then there is the aspect of water rights, where Ethiopia asserts that it has a right to utilize blue Nile waters for its development needs, with while promising not to significantly reduce downstream flows. So Ethiopia is saying that they have a right to use this water, water, since it since it originates from the country, and they have taken care of the river, and also they have a natural right to use this river. They are in disagreement with the treaties that have been signed between various countries in the region, especially the treaties that were signed in 1902 and 1959. 1929 and 1959, which gave all the water in the Nile to 2 countries, that is Sudan and Egypt, and the countries in the upstream were disregarded in these treaties. So Ethiopia has been up in arms against these treaties, which allocated bulk of the water to the downstream countries, with total disregard of the countries in the upstream. And with this, they say that they have a right to use the water in this river. So the key points of dispute has been filling and operation of the dam. As we have said earlier, Egypt and Sudan want a legally binding agreement on how the dam should be filled, but Ethiopia feels that the dam reservoir should be filled as fast as possible, for a shorter period. And they say that since they've been filling the dam during the rainy season, the long rainy season, which happens between July and September, there will be no interference as far as the flow of water in this river is concerned. So they say that countries that are downstream should feel safe, since they will not be filling water during the period of scarcity. They also colonial treaties that we have mentioned. There are treaties that were signed as far as use of River Nile is concerned. There are treaties that were signed in 1902, and the treaty that was signed in 1929 and 1959. There's also the Nile Basin Initiative, which Ethiopia relies on as far as resolution of conflict in this region is concerned. So these colonial treaties are rejected by Ethiopia, and Ethiopia described them as colonial era treaties. And these treaties, as we have said, granted Egypt and Sudan water disproportionately, and they were given control over these waters with a total disregard of the countries that are in upstream. It argues that for more equitable water sharing agreement for all riparian states, then we should follow Nile Basin initiatives. So there has been efforts to resolve this conflict. There has been negotiations where there has been numerous rounds of negotiations between the three countries. These negotiations have been mediated by African Union and other international bodies. So these talks have largely stalled, and they have not addressed the real concerns that these countries have. There are also security concerns where this unresolved dispute has raised fears of regional instability. In 2020, tensions escalated when Ethiopia started filling the dam reservoir without a formal agreement with Egypt and Sudan. The international community, including the African Union, the United States, and other parties, have urged the parties that are concerned to prioritize negotiations and also be able to reach a mutually beneficial agreement as far as the filling and operation of the dam is concerned. As far as current status of the dam is concerned, we have seen that the dam is almost complete, with the dam reaching almost 94.6 according to the Ethiopian government. The dam is largely complete, and as you have said, it has started generating electricity. Several turbines have been installed, and already power is connected to the national grid, and Ethiopians have started benefiting from this water. There are also fishing activities that are happening in the dam, and this is providing youth with employment and also food for the communities. Negotiations are ongoing, talks are still ongoing, but there is no clear resolution on site as far as this is concerned. The three countries have failed to reach a solution as far as this is concerned, and in the fourth round of negotiations which ended in December 2023, there was no clear outline or outcome as far as these talks were concerned. So the last four rounds of negotiations took place following a break that has been that lasted for 2 years, when the talks collapsed in April 2021. This followed the failure of African Union to initiative to reconcile the viewpoints of the three countries. Egypt and Sudan insist on reaching a binding agreement with Ethiopia regarding the feeding and operation of the dam to ensure that there is continued flow of shares of River Nile. On September 10th, 2023, Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed announced that the fourth stage of the feeding of the dam has been completed, and this move was considered as a new violation by Egypt. The latest round of tripartite meeting broke, reaching a seemingly dead end for that matter, due to Egypt failure, or Egypt insistence on on this old colonial consideration that Ethiopia rejects. The Prime Minister of Ethiopia said that Ethiopia is still firm on its stand as far as reaching agreement is concerned, and they said that they are going to follow the principles of negotiations, adding that the nation will strengthen its efforts towards regional integration as well as mutual development. Egypt has repeatedly been saying that the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam filling, even construction and filling as well as its operation, pose an existential threat to Egypt. Egypt relies heavily on the River Nile for its water needs as well as for agriculture, and also river provides almost all of Egypt fresh water for agriculture, drinking water, as well as for hydropower generation. Egypt fears that Gerd will significantly reduce the Nile flow reaching Egypt, and this will jeopardize its water security and economic well-being. They argue that for water sharing agreement that guarantees minimum water flow throughout the year, Egyptian government officials, including President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, who has been sworn in for that term, having used strong language describing the Gerd as an existential threat to Egypt. This, according to observers, highlights the vital importance of Egypt and the importance it places on the River Nile, and its deep concern about the dam impact. The situation has remained tense diplomatic solution has been dragging through negotiations, but this may seem as the most likely path forward. Recently, we have seen Egypt increase its military budget, where this has been increasing substantially, and there are people who are worried that probably Egypt is preparing for conflict in this region. This could be due to various. This increment might not be entirely related to Gerd. This could be due to various factors, including regional instability and security threats, and not necessarily those that are focused on Ethiopia. However, Egypt's dependence on the River Nile for its water needs is undeniable. The Gerd project raises concerns about Egypt reduced water, and this poses a threat, and in various times we have heard the president and even other officials say that they are ready to do anything to safeguard their livelihoods, and they are calling these operation and feeding of the dam as can cause a serious problem to their country, especially water shortages, and they are calling it an existential threat. So the Gerd raises these concerns about its reduced water flow, and they feel that it will impact its economy. So experts argue that possible reasons behind military buildup are not limited to the Gerd. They talk of regional security, where the wider region faces various security challenges, including terrorism and insurgencies. And Egypt might not be necessarily increasing its military spending and budget to probably get into conflict with Ethiopia. So Egypt might be strengthening its military to address these broader threats. Then there is a deterrence strategy, where a stronger military could serve a deterrent against potential conflicts with other regional actors. And this is where some are arguing that probably they may not engage in conflict directly, but they may increase in budget may be to show that they are still strong and they are ready for anything if they feel threatened. There are also those who view that military action over Gerd is highly unlikely due to the consequences that it would have. They call them devastating consequences, where a full-scale military invasion of Ethiopia by Egypt would be a devastating scenario with immense human and economic cost. The international community will strongly oppose such action. They are calling for focus on negotiations, where despite tensions between these two countries, they are likely aware of the immense drawbacks of military conflict. They are currently engaged in negotiations, although progress has been slow, as we have said earlier. So what are the more likely scenarios in this case? We are likely to see continued negotiations, where despite this military buildup, a diplomatic solution through negotiations mediated by AU and other international bodies remains the most likely path forward. There is also call to focus on agreement, where the key to resolving the Gerd dispute lies in reaching agreement on water sharing, as well as filling of the dam reservoir and dam safety protocol controls that should be put in place. While Egypt's military spending is a cause of concern, it is not clear signal of an imminent invasion of Ethiopia. The focus should be on encouraging all the parties to prioritize negotiations and find a peaceful solution that will see the Gerd continue to provide the benefits that Ethiopians want, as well as safeguarding the water needs of the communities or nations which are downstream. In conclusion, we can say that the ongoing dispute surrounding the Gerd underscores the complex geopolitics dynamics and the crucial importance of water resources in the region. While Ethiopia's progress in the dam is notable, unresolved issues concerning water sharing and the dam safety continue to fuel tensions with the downstream countries, particularly Egypt. Despite Egypt's increased military budget, the likelihood of a military conflict remains low due to its severe repercussion. Diplomatic negotiations mediated by the international bodies remain the most viable path forward, emphasizing the need for all parties to prioritize dialogue and reach agreements that ensure equitable water distribution and regional stability. So thank you for reaching this far. If it's your first time here, please subscribe to this channel. Also, watch other videos that we have done on various topics and leave your comment So thank you and welcome for more videos in future.